Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the DJ Sessions Presents the Virtual Sessions. I'm your host, Darren, and right now I'm in the virtual studios in Seattle, Washington, and coming in all the way from around the nation in Miami, Florida. And we just found out that exactly 1 year ago today, we did our first interview with Drazen. Drazen, how you doing today?
Doing fantastic, brother. Glad to be back, man. And yeah, what a coincidence. I swear I didn't plan it for the exact 1 year anniversary. But yeah, man, a lot of things have happened. It's very, very, very exciting things to talk about.
Yeah, totally. So, what have you been up to? What have been some of the projects you've been working on?
Yeah, man. So obviously a lot of cool music in the works, a lot of cool collaborations with friends in Miami. But one of my most exciting projects is something called the IM3 Lab, where I'm kind of bringing together the house local scenes, the house DJs in Miami, and having them live stream. We're about to launch an interview podcast where we can also, talk about them and just provide a lot of value to artists and also make sure like everyone gets paid, everyone gets content. Because as an artist myself, I know how it is to be in that struggle, and anything I can do to help out back the community is my pleasure, of course.
Yeah, that's it's funny. I started doing video production, well, when I was 6 years old, so 43 years ago, and I got into high school. And it was the first video production class ever offered in the state of Washington, and I took that class because I've been playing with video cameras since I was like six. Walked out of that and started working on a public access hip hop television series, R&B series.
Yeah.
And then as technology progressed, got into podcast. I actually got into broadcast television and executive produced some shows to the local Fox and NBC stations here. And then, when podcasting came out and the video iPod player, I kind of shift my whole platform over to digital. And then obviously YouTube came out right around the same time, and then live streaming in 2009. And it's been a process. And I used to do this variety show called ITV, and we did like a bunch of different shows like live music, nightlife, fashion, art, short films, video games, sports, comedy. And they were all their own independent television series. And then the one I liked the most was the nightlife one, because I was always going out to the clubs. I had tons of DJ friends. Had been partying since I was a kid. And basically, I always wondered why nobody ever had a video camera in the club filming what was going on, even though there wasn't much distribution for it. But once video podcasting came out and YouTube came out, and 2007, we all had iPhones. Now the cameras weren't that great. But anyways, the long story short, I'm getting at is I understand the morphing process of what you're going to be going through after doing this for almost 30 years of my life. And it is an exciting project and something good for the community, and it helps everyone out. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. And you're a legend yourself, man. I was going through your YouTube channel all the way back to 13 years, and you have like some cultural videos in there, man, like some historic videos of like Steve Aoki, like some DJs that I almost didn't recognize, but I know they're also legends in their own ranks. Like, you have some amazing things there, brother. So,
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a ride, and we're just getting ready to ramp back up here over at the DJ Sessions. Super excited. We're going to ADE again this year. That's a fun one, But it's been an interesting process. Just for our fans, people watching, if you don't know, if you go to our website, thedjsessions.com, on that front page, there's all the clickable links of all the past top DJ interviews and sets and guest mixes that we've done. It's pretty awesome. We're pretty proud of that site. But here's a question I have for you. How have you been able to get around the copyright issues using YouTube? Are you getting flagged for that at all with a music show?
Yeah, we are getting flagged, but we're not getting punished. You only get punished if you get a strike. So we've been doing the mixes, and most of the time when we get flagged, the consequence just tends to be we're banned in Russia and Belarus, which is, for me, not that big of a loss considering, the United States is the primary market in Europe. So we're okay with that. And we've just been growing. And like today I was updating the SEO and things like that. So far, like no major problems. The only time that a video was taken down is like when we had a 5-hour long live stream. And then YouTube said, hey, this might be like spammy or something, which didn't make sense. But that was the only time it got taken down, after 5 hours.
Yeah, when Pandy hit, my phone was blown off the hook because phone, email, messaging, because everyone's like, you're the guy that's been doing this for 10 years.
Yeah,
How do I get around this? And I'm like, you don't. You got to pay for the licensing, otherwise you can lose your whole channel one day and not get
yeah,
it back, and people didn't understand that. And then they'd say, well, shouldn't Facebook be paying for it, or shouldn't Amazon, because they own Twitch and they got billions and billions of dollars. It's like, no, it's not the responsibility. It says specifically under the terms and conditions, do not use copyrighted music.
yeah, yeah. I think they become a little bit softer in the tone, because about 5 years ago I uploaded a mix, and my God, it was a badass mix. Not only the audio but the video. I spent hours on it. Uploaded to YouTube, taken down, banned all across the world. I was like, man, all that hard work wasted. But there's a bright side to the story. About a couple months ago, I looked at that video and it was no longer banned, and I was like, this is interesting. So yeah, YouTube somehow changed the rules, and so now that video is public actually. And I was like, man, I wish they had done that a couple years ago when I spent all that work. But whatever, I guess better late than never. So it looks like YouTube has softened the rules a little bit to allow creators to like upload mixes and stuff like that, because there's millions and I think maybe billions of views now on some of these DJ live mixes that are happening with Circle and all these other stuff. So they probably realized, yeah, we need to soften the rules or this amazing content can't come out.
Totally. You mentioned you're going to be doing a podcast as well, correct?
Correct.
Will that be
Yeah.
on the back? Who are you going to be using to host your podcast series? Have you looked
So
into that yet?
yeah, I'm probably going to be the host actually, because I want to also use this podcast to give myself my own content, right? And these are also my friends, and sometimes my friends are more comfortable opening up and having these like deep conversations with me, not necessarily like a stranger. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. It's going to be under the same brand, the IM3 Lab, but the podcast will be called The Drink of an Artist. The drink doesn't necessarily have to be alcoholic; it could be any drink of choice. But yeah, it's just you can kind of freelance. I want to talk to my friends about how they see music, how we create music, their experience in the music industry, the business, and kind of just freelance from there and see like what wonderful stuff we talk about. I've gotten into some very deep, like philosophical, spiritual conversations, technical conversations, and private conversations with my friends. But I always tell myself, I wish I could put this on a podcast and the world to hear it. And so now I'm finally doing that, and I'm excited for it. I think within 2-3 months we should be launching. Right now we're just kind of like buying all the equipment, making sure everything's in order. But that's a great project I'm excited for.
What is your strongest motivation to pursue a career in music, or was your strongest motivation?
Yeah. So that started back in high school. I was like, I want to be a DJ simply because I just saw the path I was going on. I was like, okay, college, corporate job, escalate the ladder. I was like, not a bad life, but I want life to be a little bit more exciting. I want to go stray away from the norm. And that was ultimately my biggest motivation at the time. And then from there, I just kept getting inspired by things that I saw in the music industry. Like, oh, I can reach new heights. Oh, I can start a group. Oh, I can learn to be an engineer. Like the doors just started opening until I am where I am today.
And how do you define success as a DJ or producer? Is it a Beatport top 10 hit, sold out tour? What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, that's a great question. For me, honestly, and this is something I've always said to my friends, if you're making a living off your music, then for me, you've made it. Like if you don't need anything else to support you but your own craft, you made it. You don't need to be ultra famous or ultra rich, because then you have just comfortability to continue creating at your own pace. And I don't really think there's a bigger blessing in that, because we all know how many, starving artists there are. So as long as you're not a starving artist, in my opinion, you have made it.
And 10 years in the game, success for everyone doesn't always last forever, especially for an artist. What do you do to save up for the future? What do you invest your earnings in? Are you looking at Bitcoin and doing NFTs, anything like that?
That's another great question. To be honest, my approach is unconventional. So like I've started other businesses completely unrelated to music, because I was like, I want to succeed in business so I can then reinvest this back into music, because this is what I actually want to do. And it kind of goes back to like, how far outside the box are you willing to go for your dreams? And so I went so far outside the box, it's not even related to music. So those businesses can then fund back the music. Some of them did involve crypto. I was working for some crypto companies, but it doesn't necessarily have to be crypto or some crazy innovation. It just has to be something that's stable and that can continue paying the bills as you grow. Like I said, anytime you trade off money for music, then you might be accidentally making music for a different reason than you originally were. Like, don't make music because you have to for money. You should have something that's funding you so you can create to your own desire.
Hmm. Yeah, I've heard that is you pretty much hit the nail on the head for people that have gotten successful in the industry. It's like if you're making this for the money, or you're in it for the wrong reasons almost,
Right.
and you're probably not going to last too long. Um, is there something you'd like to say to new and upcoming producers to watch out for when it comes to making their career successful?
Yeah. Learn the business simultaneously as you learn music. I think I don't want to say it's the biggest mistake, but something I could go back and change. Not that I want to change, but if I could tell myself something is learn business at the same time. Because I think a lot of people go into the studio, go into the studio, go into the studio. They do that so many years, thousands of hours in creativity and art, but then 0 hours in business. And so you're extremely talented, insane potential, but you're unable to convert that potential to results because your business experience is low, right? Your stats are low in business. So make sure you grow both of those stats simultaneously, because the art that you make, the music that you make, what matters is, yes, making it, but also matters what happens after you make it. How do you market it? How do you get it out to distribution? How do you get it out to the world? And that's the art of the business.
Hmm. And when it comes to performance, or getting up on stage, do you become a different person when you get on stage? Are you a different person off stage than you're on stage? Is there a character that Drazen has? Like maybe you're a totally chill guy at home, but you're you're on the stage.
That's an interesting question. I mean, I know I've heard of alter egos, right? Like I think Beyonce had Sasha Fierce and stuff like that. Like they will become an alter ego so they can like pretend to be who they have to be on stage for the show. I don't think I necessarily do that. Although I used to be very hyper focused on mixing in the past. Now that I'm kind of starting to get more data and analytics from my YouTube channel, I'm noticing that the more animated DJs just naturally get more views. And I'm like, okay, so I need to be more animated, but I also don't want to like sell my soul just for views. I want to be animated in my own regard. So I have been tweaking my authenticity of how much I'm willing to be animated versus like who I am as a core as a person. That's what I recommend everyone to do.
If you ever want to see something kind of funny, go to our website, thedjsessions.com. Go to our archives, some of the first episodes of the DJ sessions, and the DJs that were playing, they didn't know what to do because they had never been on a live streaming show or a podcast series before, let alone have video taken of tons of pictures that would go to MySpace and all that stuff, but no video. And even if the video was recorded, like the photographer came in and recorded the video, the audio would sound like crap because they're not patched into the board, so we really want to share it. But long story short, you watch what I would do for my shows, and for 4 hours, I'd be bouncing up and down. Like people would tune in just to watch and go, is this guy on drugs? What is going on here? The DJ's doing a badass mix. But the DJ, I don't want to say they were boring. They just didn't know. And as they started doing more shows and they felt the groove and people were coming over and we were partying and hanging out, in that sense, it was a great time. They started easing up and started getting into it, and people would stay and watch because it wasn't just watching somebody being a knob turner. It was very, very key thing that I think when I spoke with a lot of people when they started streaming during Pandy was be animated, be energetic, smile. Make sure you're smiling. Who wants to watch a person going?
Right, exactly. Not too serious.
Yeah.
Exactly, but also authentic because I didn't really see myself as like the jumpy up and down DJ, but I was like at the same time I want to be a conductor and controlling the energy of my hands, and so I found the way to kind of do that without being like too cheesy in my opinion. Like I want to be like some of those DJs are just bouncing up and down all the time like Fisher. Like that's not me, that's not my style. But at the same time, I want to be able to kind of crowd control. So that's the way I found my balance.
Yeah. Was the biggest crowd you ever played for also your best crowd?
I would say one of the best crowds. The biggest crowd I played for was Club Space, The Terrace, completely slammed. That was like back in 2017, 2018. And I mean, like the other day, 2 weeks ago, I played Treehouse back to back with my friend Vito, and that crowd was also ridiculous. So I can't really say it was the best, but like I think as long as you're carrying the energy every crowd's gonna have its movement. So yeah, that's what I'll say about that.
Hmm. Yeah, I've heard some people like the more intimate crowds where they can really connect. 150 to 300 people,
Yeah.
and some of them like, oh no, I play in front of 100,000 people, and I'm disconnected, but I'm
Yeah.
connected. So it's always
I want to
interesting.
have that experience. Yeah, I'm definitely used to the intimate vibe of clubs and stuff like that. I haven't done a festival for like 50,000 people in front of me yet. I assume it's gonna be different. so
Hmm.
so yeah.
So going to a little bit of a serious topic here. Is
Yeah.
there something that's really messed up in the DJ scene? And if there is, how would we go about changing that?
Yeah, really messed up. I, I feel like the culture's gotten a little bit better from like when I used to see like some just prick DJs back in the day, and they still are. Um, I think a lot of DJs, from what I'm seeing, have become more marketers than they are in craftsmanship. This is what I've personally been seeing. So like we're seeing, sometimes Instagram models or Instagram influencers becoming DJs that have no really craftsmanship or history in it, but it's a nice model to get revenue. Like come to my show, I'll DJ a little bit, right? But there's no really deep craftsmanship because they're new. I don't like necessarily seeing that as just a money grab, but I understand that as a business model. I think that should be fixed. And the only way to really fix that is that to actually teach the talented individuals that are in it for like the craftsmanship, how to do business, how to grow their organics, how to do marketing. And that's something I want to do with the IN3 platform on
Mhm.
on this other thing called the Mastermind, where we teach music business. Like there's a lot of music business channels for hip hop. Like for example, Brandman Sean, learned tremendous amount from him, but there's nothing for the EDM side of things. There's no like podcast that I see teaching music business for DJs or like EDM managers coming out and dropping some diamonds. Like there's some nuggets here and there, but not like a go-to channel.
Hmm. Hmm. That would be an awesome project to start up.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you're on that pathway of doing that. And after being 10 years in the game, have you made a lot of friends in the electronic music world, or would you say most are just business contacts?
Both, to be honest. A lot of friends and a lot of DJ producer friends, cherished at the bottom of my heart, all over the country, some around the world, but also a lot of business contacts. And I've been very open-minded on this. Sometimes I'll meet someone that for some reason didn't really make sense to meet them. Like I would meet like a doctor, or I'll meet like a VC or something. Maybe at the time I didn't see how it would make sense, but I kept those relationships open. And as the years go by, you kind of see how they made sense. They introduce you to this person, that person, or you have leverages in certain ways that other DJs don't because they didn't go explore in those directions.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was talking with my mom actually the other day, and she was talking about making friends and meeting people, and I use the word. Well, we all know a lot of people, but how many are our real friends?
Yeah.
And especially in the nightlife world, I always found I had a lot of acquaintances, people that I knew, people that I could see in the club, give a hug to, or a handshake to, or invite them over to the show. But were they really my friends?
Yeah.
And that could be a stigma that people, you climb the ladder, you get popular, then people want to be your friend, but they're really just trying to ride your coattails, or you know
Absolutely.
use you in some way, shape, or form. It's not genuine, and then you're like, what the hell? So that happens. I mean, I've been blessed to have good relationships with everyone that I've ever worked with on the show. um, that is pretty awesome. Well, I'd say 99% of the people that have come on the show.
Yeah.
But things happen. People have different opinions, but it's all good. Shifting over to the technology side of things, what are your thoughts on virtual reality and what it will do for the music industry?
So when I went to CES about 4 years ago, I put on some virtual reality goggles and went on one of the first ever music videos for virtual reality. And it really changed my perspective because I was like, damn, like it is a whole new world to explore. Like if music videos are moving through you, like moving through a place, through a dimension, and making you feel like you're flipping up in the air, like I was like, this is definitely the future of music. However, it's a very big barrier of entry not only for the person making that video, but for the person that has to buy the goggles and headset. So I think it still might be a couple years away, but the experience and the dynamics of it is definitely the next level experience from an artist to a fan.
Yeah, we were super excited over the last few years. We launched our first, we launched our virtual reality nightclub. And we first launched in AltSpace, but then Microsoft shut AltSpace down.
Oh man.
Oh, dude, we were getting ready to launch. That took a lot of wind out of my sails earlier this year too. And like, it's like we're launching in February, and then they announce we're closing this down in March.
Oh my
And
god.
it was like, and I'd spent like almost a year, almost 2 years. I think I got my build in 2021, late 2021 when I got my headsets, and spent time and putting everything together. We were super excited. Which we are accepting additional shows in there, by the way. So if you do go live anywhere, I don't know what you're using to go live. I'd love to have your content also go into our VR nightclub. But yeah, I think VR is going to be a very interesting thing. Did people jump on it? Did it become big during Pandy? And because we were all at home, just like we saw Twitch. I mean, they just went exponentially. YouTube content, podcast content, everything going online content. And I had predicted back in 2020 that when this ends, that 60 to 80% increase that we saw is going to go, and that those content creators are going to be like, oh nope, we're out doing something else new now, you know. So it's been interesting to see. But yeah, VR has a definite ability to put you into a space, and I've seen some phenomenal spaces. I was actually talking to some guys who won the Cannes Film Festival for VR, and their nightclubs that they build. You're like, this is what it should be like, and it's only going to get better. So we're super excited about that. But technology moves very fast in the electronic music land. If you could think of something that's not on the market today, but in your vision would be really amazing, what would that be?
Something that's not on the market today, but I see developing, is the use of AI to generate music in real time. I think a lot of musicians and producers, DJs have to prepare for this. The rise of AI is going to make every single person a creator at incredible speeds. So you're no longer just going to be competing against producer versus producer, DJ versus DJ, singer versus singer. You're going to be competing literally against anyone that wants to create. And AI is going to facilitate that creation, and it's over time is going to be at a very high quality level. So I'm curious to see how that's going to, change the landscape.
I'm glad you brought up AI, because that is a hot topic right now. It is exponentially getting bigger and bigger. But I've talked with a lot of people about this, and they say, here's the one thing about AI music creation: it won't have a soul, it won't have a heart, and is that just a counterpoint to, if I go, okay, I want a deep house, 124, 4.5 minute track, focused heavy on a bass line or a guitar, put solo in there, and AI goes out there and makes it for me. Did I really make that song?
Right.
Or was I plugging that? Was I just giving it parameters to use to make that song? And that song could come out, but you could equate it. I see at least Ghost producing you're having somebody make a song for you. Hopefully you're collaborating on that Ghost produced song with that person, but they're laying the foundations for it. But AI, there's no human on the other end doing that, so what do you do? But I think you're right with the live performance. What could happen? There's
a lot of factors into it.
Last year I was at Winter Music Conference, and Carl Cox was doing a demonstration, and he was up there, and he had one CDJ. I think he had a 3000, and he had his laptop. But in his laptop, he had program. It was basically live producing on the fly while mixing in tracks as well.
Oh, that's sick.
And he was like, this is my new project. This is my new thing I want to go forward towards, because he goes, every set I make is never the same. Like I know a lot of DJs will go, oh, this is my set. This is what I got planned. This is what I've made to do, or this is my library. But he'll make live music on the fly now, but also be able to get those tracks in there, those hot tracks that he wants to really promote.
Right.
And I'm like, well, that's been able to be done for a long time. I mean, that was Ableton Live, and Logic made back in Logic 7, I think it was, they made the ability to tie in a live performance. So if you made your songs, you could actually manipulate them live within Logic if you knew what you were doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, where is that going to go? Does it get back to the basics? I don't know. I think a lot of new artists wouldn't take on that endeavor. Carl being around for 30 plus years, I think could do something like that, and have the budget to afford all the cool toys and everything. So yeah, I think you're right. AI is going to be very interesting to see where that goes.
Yeah, to touch on the soul aspect, I mean, I think this kind of happened also when there were classical instrumentalists, and then the computer came out, and I bet you they're probably saying, "Oh, you guys making music with the computer that has no soul." But nowadays, we know that all these producers are like putting their soul into the computer, aren't they? So the computer is just a tool, and I think the AI is just another tool. If you just let it do everything, then yeah, it probably has no soul. But if you work with it, you put your detail into it, you put your heart into it. I think that's where the soul comes in, the human soul, right? If you just let an AI do everything and all it's done, yeah, that is no soul. But if you actually work with it, get it to the way you like it, then you're putting your soul into it.
I will never forget my 7th grade choir teacher saying this. He goes, "A drum machine is not a real live drum performance, and I can tell the difference between the two."
Yeah.
This is 1987, of course. So, yeah, you could definitely tell a synthesized drum beat over non-synthesized. But now, with the technology getting so better, I mean, it would take pretty much a real trained musician to go, that's not a real drum kick,
Right.
or something like that. But I think
sample,
there's so much electronic music made. Here's the crazy one about AI is who's going to be the real first, somebody's already playing with it, I bet, first popular AI written song, AI produced track artist that goes up and wins a Grammy. I mean, it's like,
it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. Yeah.
So it's inevitable. So like, I try not to go against the macro winds of inevitability. I think a lot of people try to do that because I don't know, it strains them or like they want things done a certain way. But there's just sometimes these shifts in society when a technology comes in that it's a macro wind that you do not want to fight against because it's just going that direction no matter what.
Exactly. And what upcoming music do you have that you're going to be releasing? Anything coming up on the radar here?
Yeah, so I have a collaboration with my friend Zonko, which is like also my childhood best friend. We go back almost like 15 years. He has more of like an anime aesthetic touch to his music, but he's been recently getting into house again. And so we made a song called Small Talk. Beautiful, powerful chords, piano chords. It's all sample. We also got like vocals, and it sounds, I mean, I can't wait for the world to hear it. It's crazy next level in terms of production. Then I have a couple collabs. My friend Vito, he was recording yesterday to this I Remember beat. And I have a lot in the vaults. To be honest, I was just considering, hey, next month, screw the labels, just drop it all. Because my new philosophy is it's better for the music to be out there, even if it gets like minimal plays, because that way in the future it can be found, and in the future it can also just be blown up again, right? TikTok has kind of shown us that old songs can be blown up again, right? Even from like the 80s. So it's just better to have your music out there than sitting on a hard drive. So a lot of cool tracks coming up. I would say around 10 tracks coming out for me next month, and we'll see what happens from there.
Nice. You mentioned TikTok and bringing up that music from the 80s. Do you remember the viral video with the guy that was drinking the cranberry juice while on a skateboard playing Fleetwood Mac?
That's what I was referring to,
And then Fleetwood Mac started charting again in the stores. And then what was her name? It was in the Stranger Things soundtrack in the 4th season. I don't know if you watch Stranger Things or not.
Is it the Never Ending Story one, or?
No, not Never Ending Story. It's the one song that the girl has to listen to so she doesn't go into the trance. The redhead.
I forgot.
Na, 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 na. Okay, I'm not a singer like that.
Yeah.
But
I don't recognize it.
It blew up and got really popular. Like it started charting again. It was just crazy. Speaking about Hollywood and making movies and all that, if Hollywood were to make a movie about your life, who would you pick as the main actor?
Oh man, that's a tough question. I feel like maybe some Asian looking dude, but I don't really know who I would pick. That's a tough question.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that
And
wasn't prepared for that one.
no, it's all good. It's all good. I'm just my mouse quit working on me, so I'm just trying to sit it back up because I can't get to my questions. But
No, you're good.
let's see, where's the best place that somebody could go find out information about you and what you got going on?
Yeah. So honestly, just my Instagram. Instagram, I usually pretty consistent with story postings just to see what's going on day to day, and my feed is kind of like a summary of what I've been achieving throughout the years. And then Twitter is a nice place for you to like kind of get my philosophy of thoughts of how I see business and music. And yeah, those are the two primary ones. YouTube has obviously my music as well, but if you really want to connect, either Instagram or Twitter.
What's your thoughts on Instagram, or I'm sorry, Twitter now being called X?
X. It's interesting, I guess. I mean, Elon Musk says that he wants to make X have half of the world's money supply going through it, which is a crazy endeavor. But honestly, the way he describes it, a lot of people don't know that that was actually his original vision for PayPal, was to have like this one company that all the financial services connect and kind of distribute from and use. So he's basically trying to make X the new modern day PayPal, I guess, in a way, but with aggregated with social media, which is pretty smart. And I
And
actually saw a tweet recently that says that they're adding coins to Twitter. So there's a developer program that has coins already enabled as a feature. So that money aspect is coming in pretty quick.
did you jump on and get a Threads account?
I did. I was too curious, but honestly, I deleted it. I don't use it anymore. What
Yeah.
made me delete it actually was not even the use. I started seeing how much data it takes from you, like financial transactions, health data, location data. I was like, I mean, Instagram kind of does the same too, to be honest. I try to block all that stuff, but some of it will still leak through the cracks. And I was like, I don't need another app tracking all that. So I just deleted it.
We were talking about, you talked about commerce and money traveling through these platforms. Do you have your own merchandise available?
I don't have a store, but I am making my own merchandise. Like this, my Drayson shirt. On the back, I actually have like some AI designs of like my face with the different multiverses, like a Doctor Strange multiverse, a Mario multiverse. So that's pretty cool. I will start eventually selling more merchandise on Shopify, but at the moment, it's just kind of for myself.
Hmm. At one point, I thought Spotify was talking about including a way to get concert tickets and merch. And Spotify,
Yeah,
can you get merch on Spotify and put merch up and sell it?
I think they're about to launch that feature. Yeah, they're
Okay,
about to
I thought
launch
that
it.
was something they were going to start doing, so artists could put their tour dates on there, and tickets could go through Spotify or something like that, and then their merch. So it'd be one place to go to for the fans to get their stuff. You know what? It's been a great time talking with you, Drazen. Is there anything else you want to let our DJ Sessions fans know about?
Yeah, just don't give up on your dreams, learn music and business, and keep the ball rolling forward. Never give up.
And what's that YouTube channel again?
So the YouTube channel I'm building is called I am three. So I am the number three. And actually, let me break that down a little bit. I am three stands for music, art, and technology. So we're looking for music, art, and technology lovers, and obviously a good portion of that tends to be DJs and electronic artists. And originally, this is I guess some lore. It was my partner's company that I joined in, and it used to stand for Inside Andy's Mind because his DJ name is Andy M. But we rebranded it to mean music, art, and technology.
That's awesome. My advertising company is actually called I Am, but it stands for Independent Alternative Media.
Okay, cool. Power. There's a mantra between I am behind I am.
Well, you think about it, it's like we would brand it and go like, I am marketing, I am advertising, I am mobile billboard trucks, I am street teams. Who are you? We are, I am.
Yeah, I am. Whatever you put after I am is basically like your manifestation, right?
Hmm.
And
Exactly.
actually, Axel had a song called "I Am" as well, where he did a similar technique where all the fans would say, "I am this, I am that."
Yeah. Awesome. Again, Drazen, pleasure for having you back on the show. Can't believe it just happens to be on the 1 year exact anniversary we did last
Maybe.
year.
We should just set it up every 1 year right here.
I know, right? Just put it in and just set it up. But no, we'll definitely be following up with you. Looking forward to seeing everything you have coming out. Congratulations on your success and good luck on your endeavors coming up.
Thank you, Darren. Wish the same back for you.
You're welcome. Talk to you soon.
Peace.
On that note, don't forget to go to our website, thedjsessions.com. Find us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We're out there. Basically, go to our website, thedjsessions.com, for guest interviews, exclusive mixes, contests, and more. That is thedjsessions.com. I'm Darren. That's Drayson coming in from Miami, and I'm coming in from Seattle for the DJ Sessions, virtual sessions. And remember, on the DJ Sessions, the music never stops.